I'm so excited to show you our work, and I'm wearing Apple Watch right here. Now, to give you a better look, since this is a little hard for you to see, we've built a custom one that's connected to the display here. So let's take a look at that. Now, I also have my iPhone, which is required with Apple Watch. And the first thing you're going to see on your watch when you look at it is the clock. Now, we thought a lot when we were designing Apple Watch about how to really reveal all of the great ecosystem of applications on this device. And we wanted to build it in a way that was really easy to find and use. So we've connected it to the digital crown. So if I press the digital crown at the top here, it takes me out to my applications. Very easy to get out to my apps. Now, when I'm here, you can see the clock is the center of the universe. And the apps you frequently use, you might put around the clock here. You can arrange these how you like. And I can pan just by simply swiping on the screen here. I can go from one area to another of my applications. I can also get an overview of all of my apps just by rotating the crown. I will zoom out to a universe of apps. And you can arrange this just how you like. And by tapping, you can go right into a neighborhood of apps. And if you'd like to go back to the clock, you press the crown, and it brings you right back to the clock again. Now, to launch apps, it's very simple, of course. You just tap on one of them. Here's the clock. Now, the watch faces can be customized just how you like. You can choose different ones. You can arrange them just for yourself. And to customize your watch face, you just force touch on the display, and it goes back a little bit. Now I can simply swipe over here, and I can choose another watch face. So if I like this one, I can tap on it. That's now my watch face. I can also customize the appearance and the functionality of these faces. So again, if I force touch here, it will bring me out, and I can choose Customize. And here I can change the color of the face. Just by rotating the crown, I can change the color here and slide in some different colors on my watch. Or if I want to change the functionality of this face, I can just swipe over, and the green outline shows me what I'm currently changing. So I'll change the center area just by rotating the crown again. You can see I have a variety of information I can pull in here right on my watch face. This is my next meeting, which I use a lot, so I'll keep this just by force touching. Let's look at a couple of other faces we have here. This is one of my favorite ones. This is called the astronomy face, and it shows you where you are in the Earth. So if you wake up and forget where you are, you can just look here. And you can go fly to the moon. If you tap on the bottom left here, it will actually fly me over to the moon. This is the current moon phase. We scheduled our event on a nice full moon, so this will look great here. And I can rotate the crown here, and it will advance time. So you can see I can go forward and look at the new moon. I can see where the next quarter one's happening and the next full one in about a month. So it's a lot of fun to play with some of these faces as well. In addition to the Earth and the moon, I can zoom out even further, and I can look at the whole solar system. And you can see where all the planets, this is the actual position of the planets right now for this time. And if you forget which planets are which, I can just double tap here, and it will give me a little cheat sheet so I can see which is which. So let's fly back here now to the Earth. So that's a great watch face called astronomy. There's a whole variety of watch faces here. We spent a lot of time just doing some beautiful work here on the appearance of the faces. This is a nice analog one. Now, in addition to looking at the time, we also thought it's really important to look at other information as well. So how do we represent that in a really glanceable way? So we've created something called glances. And the way you get to glances is you just swipe up from the bottom of the watch face, and you'll see information that you choose to have here. It can be from our built-in apps, it can be from third-party apps, and you can arrange these just how you like. Here's my next meeting, and if I just swipe horizontally, I can see things like where I'm located here at Flint Center, the current weather outside, NASDAQ, stock quote, and world time, or I can see music I'm currently playing on devices around me. And with this, you can actually control music on your iPhone, music on iTunes on your computer, or the music that's stored right on your Apple Watch. Here I've got it connected to my iPhone, which is plugged into the speakers in this room, so it will sound really good. So let's listen to a little Coldplay here. Now you can control tracks and volume, everything you'd expect right here from your watch. And when you're done with glances, you just swipe down and they go away. Now, in addition to your looking at information, you may have information coming to you. And when you're notified of things on Apple Watch, we're using the Taptic engine to give you feedback on your wrist. It's just like somebody tapping you on the wrist very gently. And even if you're sitting right next to someone, they won't be able to tell that you're getting notified. It's very subtle, but you'll feel it on your own wrist. And you can choose what information, of course, will come and notify you on your watch. And if you do choose to look at something that's coming in, you just raise your wrist, and the notification will come in, just like this. Here's a calendar invitation. Excellent. I'm invited to the karaoke outing, finally, with Eddie. So I can swipe up here, and I can just see information about where it's at and time. And then I have buttons that are specific to that type of notification. Different buttons will come with different notifications. Here it's a calendar invite, so I can accept or decline, or maybe I'm totally going to go accept. Now, you might also get other notifications. Here's one from Johnny. Am I going with Love Shack or Wild Thing? I think he's teasing me. I'm going to press reply. Now we've created something called QuickBoard to enable really quick replies to messages that you're getting. And you can see here we've actually analyzed the text that's coming in and picked out some things you might want to just tap on and send back. So I'm not going to tell Johnny what I'm seeing. It's a secret, of course. Now I can also use dictation to reply. That will send either an audio recording of my voice, or I can convert that to text and send it, or I can use a new selection of animated emoji that we've created for Apple Watch. Let's use an emoji. So I'm going to tap there, and we've got a great collection here of emoji. These are hands, hearts, and then also faces. I think I'll choose a face to send back to Johnny. Now, when you're actually sending a face here, you can control both the eyes and the mouth to get just the right expression you'd like to send to somebody. So here I'll just edit this a little bit. I'll make it, this is a winking one if I change the eye. Or if I want to do something a little bit more with the mouth here, I can change that. I think that's perfect to send back to Johnny, all right? And so I'll just press send. Now that's sending an animated emoji to Johnny. He can view that on his phone or his watch, and it has the same kind of lively character that I just created. And that lets you send a lot of emotion without interacting very much at all on your watch. There's a lot that Apple Watch can do. I'm going to show you a few more things here. The first one is that we've built Siri into Apple Watch. So we can do Siri just by pressing the digital crown here and ask a question like, what movies are playing, for example. What movies are playing tonight in Cupertino? So Siri will go out and check that information. It comes back with a list of movies that are playing around us here in Cupertino. And I can use the crown to scroll this, or I can use my finger to scroll the list. Now, I'll just tap on Guardians of the Galaxy, because that one looks really cool. And you can see we get some very nice poster art there. We can see the ratings, who's in the movie, lots of information, including showtime, synopsis. So you can use a lot of Siri functionality right here on your wrist with Apple Watch. Now, we also looked at how you can carry your photos with you. And it's almost like having a little locket of photos right here with you. So we've got a Photos app here. And now, of course, precious photos number in the hundreds rather than a couple. So here you can see an overview much like you can on your iPhone. Now, though, I can use the digital crown to zoom right in to photos and see which ones I'd like to look at. Or I can easily just pan around and look at photos from different times. And if I'd like to, I can tap on photos and bring them in larger on the screen here. And I can look at them one by one just by swiping. So this is a really great way to bring your precious photos with you. Now, by default, all of the photos that you favorite on your iPhone or your Mac will just show up on your Apple Watch. It can be any collection that you like to show here. One other app I'd like to show you is Maps, which is amazing to have a Maps application on such a little device. So let's tap on Maps here. Of course, it shows me where I'm at, here at Flint Center, and I can pan around just by swiping. So we can see the neighborhood. I can also zoom out with the crown. If I rotate the crown, it zooms me out. I can see more of the area. You can see this is really tightly connected as I'm rotating the crown, super responsive. I can also pan around with this view, and if I'd like to get back to where I am, I can press on the bottom left, and it takes me right there. Now, if I'd like to look for things around me, you can bring up a context menu for Maps by force touch. And here I have a search command, and I can find things by dictation, my favorites, or if I've recently searched for things, I can just tap on those. So we've got Whole Foods here. Let's get directions to Whole Foods. I'll just tap there. And it's going to calculate, find the local Whole Foods here. And you got the hours, and you have also a phone number if you'd like to call Whole Foods, and you have directions, walking and driving. So let's get walking directions to Whole Foods. So it's figuring out the best way to get there now. And I'm going to press start, and it's going to do a little simulated walk so you can see how it goes here. Now, while you're walking, Apple Watch will give you taptic feedback on each turn. So you'll know whether it's time to turn left or to turn right. And those feelings are different for each direction. So you can actually know without even looking at your watch which way to go. It's like having this invisible guide with you. That's Maps on Apple Watch. Now, the last app I'd like to show you is one that we worked on a lot in terms of communication. We thought hard about how to enable a new form of communication, given that we have the Taptic engine and you're wearing Apple Watch. We've created something called Digital Touch. And you get to your friends with Digital Touch by pressing this button right below the digital crown. And there are my friends. Of course, you can choose who you'd like to have here in your friend list. And I can communicate with someone just by tapping. So I'll tap here on my friend Jeff. And I can either phone him or I can send him a message. Or if I tap right in the center, I can create this new form of digital touch communication with Jeff. And here I can draw and tap and have a much richer live communication with Jeff. He and I go out to lunch a lot, so we've now established this little code. When we're getting hungry, we can just tap each other, and we'll feel it on our wrist. So I'll just do the triple tap here for going to lunch. We'll see if Jeff is getting hungry like I am right now. OK, so we do this a lot. That means what's for lunch, so I know that. So I know that Jeff really loves sushi, so I'm going to bring up the color picker and pick a nice blue color, and I'm going to draw a fish. So I know how much Jeff loves sushi. Drawing in front of millions of people is really fun. OK, there's my fish. What do you think? So that's being sent now. Jeff is really excited. I don't know if you noticed, he just sent me his heartbeat. He doesn't always do that. This is a special day. And that's not just an emoji. That actually is reading the heart rate off of Jeff's wrist with Apple Watch and sending me his heartbeat so I can feel it on my wrist. That's never been done before. It's a really great aspect of this new form of communication with digital touch. So those are just a few things on Apple Watch. And I was happy to give you a little glimpse at what Apple Watch does. So this has been a really collaborative effort across Apple, and it's just such an honor to work with the team. Now, in addition to the work we've been doing, we've also been working to enable third-party developers to extend their apps to Apple Watch. And apps are, of course, something we pioneered with the App Store on the iPhone, and developers create things that do things we never imagined were possible. And we think there's a great opportunity now in Apple Watch for them. So we've created something to enable this on the Apple Watch. Initially, notifications will just show up. So for example, if you've got a notification from Facebook coming in, it'll look like this. If you choose to have these appear on your watch, you can have any of your third-party apps appear here, and they look very simple. Now, you can extend this even further and create a much more integrated experience with Apple Watch with something called WatchKit. WatchKit is something that enables developers to create rich, actionable notifications with those buttons, WatchKit apps that appear right on the home screen, and also the glances that we saw. So here are a few examples of this. Here we have Twitter with a notification coming in. And you can see it's using the same layout as the original tweet, but now it's much richer with images and text. It looks like the Twitter brand, and it has buttons that you'd like to use to favorite or retweet right on that message. Now, in addition to custom notifications, you can also create apps that appear on the home screen. Here's the Twitter app. If I tap on that, it will just launch the app. And here I can view things on my timeline, look at trending tweets, or I can actually tweet from my Apple Watch by tapping on the top there. A few more examples. When you're traveling with Apple Watch, it's really great. American Airlines has created a great experience all the way from checking in with one tap on your watch all the way through collecting your bags. When you're checking into a hotel, Starwood Hotels is creating this great app for Apple Watch that lets you check into the hotel, and you can unlock your hotel room door by waving your watch in front of the door. And that will be available across all W hotels in the springtime around the world. City Mapper enables you to get mass transit directions, and it will also remind you to get off at the right stop just by using Taptuator on your wrist. Pinterest, when you've pinned sites in cities you're traveling to, it can remind you when you get near them and give you walking directions to them. BMW lets you see the charge level in your car And if you forgot where you parked it, it will actually show you a map of where you left your car and then directions back to it. MLB lets you see the current sports scores. Honeywell lets you control the temperature in your home. With the Lutron app, you can control the lighting and the scenes in your home with one tap. With the Nike app, you can challenge your friends to go for a run. So these are just some of the examples of the great apps that are already underway for Apple Watch, and we just can't wait to see what developers are going to create in this great new platform. Thank you very much.